Taylor's Era Tour is well underway, and despite being a lyrical master, anything can happen when you're live. Welcome to Beyond the Screen, I'm Nate, and these are the top 10 worst moments at Taylor Swift's tour caught on camera. Number 10. Static electricity. I'll mention this a few times throughout this list because it needs to be said. Taylor's live shows are an extravagant and joyous occasion that are filled with lots of costume changes. During a performance in Glendale, Arizona, strands of Taylor's long blonde hair began to stand up. The situation was caused by constant changes in fabric, creating a field of static electricity. Her hair stayed up long enough for meme after meme to be created and shared with the world. Many fans compared the look to the doll from Rugrats, Cynthia, and the penguin played by Robin Williams in Happy Feet, Lovelace. Taylor found the memes to be pretty funny, even claiming that the hairstyle should become a regular thing. Regardless of why it happened, this will be an Eras Tour moment fans will never forget. Number 9. Cincinnati Sprint. Taylor loves to put on a good show with pyrotechnics, lots of dancing, and of course some pretty smooth entrances and exits. During one show in Cincinnati, Taylor ended a song and stood in place waiting for a trap door to open and slowly lower her into the ground. After a moment, nothing happens. She stomps in an attempt to activate it, but when it's clear that the door is malfunctioning, she makes a run for the back, sprinting past her background dancers. The sprint wasn't a move of embarrassment, but rather Taylor trying to keep the flow of the show going. A costume change was planned underneath the stage that quickly had to shift backstage instead. The sprint was caught by several fans in the crowd, with one Swiftie posting the moment on TikTok and adding that run sound effect to it. It's so much fun. Taylor was acting very quickly, and at least she made an effort. So many celebs would have probably just stomped their feet harder and harder until they fell down the shaft like that kid from Willy Wonka. Number 8. Yummy Buggy. During her stop in Chicago, Miss Swift was introducing her band's latest member pianist Karina DePiano. And yes, that is her real last name. She suddenly began violently coughing and turned away from the crowd. After a moment, she catches her breath and tells the audience everything is fine, she just swallowed a bug. The audience cackled at the top of their lungs as they watched Taylor struggle to get rid of her unwanted hitchhiker. After a moment, she swallowed the bug, or it vanished because she stopped coughing and said, yum. A tasty treat for Taylor, I guess. She made light of the situation by asking the crowd if anyone had actually seen what just happened, before joking that it will more than likely happen again. That's the problem with outside venues. Free concert for bugs. Who's gonna check if they have tickets? Little tiny bug police? I don't think so. Number 7. Security! This time it was Taylor's staff that was causing the issue. During her show in Philadelphia, there appeared to be some problems in the audience. The security team was constantly shoving the crowd back from the stage area, and I do mean shoving, like physically trying to move them. Taylor spotted a security team dragging one fan out of the crowd and telling them to let her go as she wasn't doing anything wrong. While the video capture didn't really make it clear what happened, a fan who was in attendance explained the situation on Twitter. The security team had grown increasingly aggressive as the night went on, and a woman and her friends started dancing and getting rowdy. You know, normal things people do in the pit at a concert. But the security team did not like that. They had enough and escorted the woman and her friends away from the venue, telling them they could return the next night. So, like, why kick them out? They just went back the next day and laid low. Next time, either kick them out or don't, security guy. Number 6. Sweep the leg. Now, there have been a handful of times where celebrities fall on stage, and Swift has fallen a handful of times due to weather or just tripping on her own feet. But when she was knocked off her feet by one of her background dancers, it was certainly shocking. She was walking down a platform at one of her concerts while a dancer held her hand as part of the routine. The dancer then fell to the ground and delivered a helicopter ninja kick to Taylor's legs, literally sweeping her off her feet. The move was clearly an accident, and the dancer helped her get back to her feet, but rather than berate the dancer, Taylor shakes it off and continues the show. Get it? Shake it off. I'm a freaking genius. Number 5. The janitor cart. There was a massive theory going around the internet as Taylor began her Eras tour. People were wondering how it was possible for her to get around the venue when there were crazed fans literally around every corner. Not to mention, in order to get to the stage of most outdoor venues, you have to be exposed to the public even for a brief moment. But there was one common theme at each of her shows. The event staff were always seen pushing some tall janitor cart back and forth before the show would begin. win. Now, the first red flag was that the people pushing this thing had earbuds in their heads and they were wearing black t-shirts, not janitor outfits. Eventually, a fan was able to get the right angle and captured the moment that Taylor steps out of the cart backstage. Not only did this confirm the rumor, but Taylor's secret vehicle had been outed to the world. Now, I won't be attending the concert because I'm not rich, but for those of you who are attending, please keep an eye out for two people in black t-shirts pushing the coffin or something down the hall. I don't know what they'll do. Number 4. Wet works. Okay, I know these are supposed to be worst moments at this tour, but this is just kind of impressive. During a show in Massachusetts, Taylor performed her entire set, 40+ songs in a rainstorm, something that she apparently does all the time. Photos and videos from the concert show Taylor splashing around on stage, trying to clear off a piano as rain continues to fall on it, and overall making light of what could have been a very rough situation. In fact, only a few weeks prior to this concert, many fans were forced to shelter in place for over 4 hours due to a severe storm over top of the arena. Despite being drenched in rain, she continued with her costume changes, dance choreography, and theatrics during the almost 4-hour show. Somehow this woman is able to take what would normally force people to leave a show and turn it into a fun time. Number 3. Dive, dive, dive! Taylor knows how to put on a good show, and this next entry just proves that sentence. During one of her first shows of the Era Tour in Glendale, Arizona, Taylor stood in front of her fans as a small hole opened in the stage. She jumped in and a masterpiece in LED technology began to play. Waves flowed across the stage as a bird's eye view showed her swimming from one end of the stage to the other. The sequence ended with a large wave hitting the back of the stage, with Taylor appearing underneath a cloud in a new outfit as the waves vanished. Thankfully, this worked out on stage, as it's been reported that during the rehearsals for the show, Taylor missed her mark a couple times ever so slightly and wound up belly flopping into the pool, which would have made for a very different show. Number 2. Ticketmaster. Many fans were excited when Taylor first announced her world tour, so much so that they were waiting in virtual queues for hours on end, just waiting for those tickets to become available. The tickets went on sale in November 2022, but there was a problem. The website Ticketmaster received so many orders at one time that the entire site crashed. The tickets were pre-sold and advertised as just for fans, while there was a separate general ticket that was supposed to be available soon after. Instead, the site was riddled with bugs and errors, causing sales to either not go through or for the site to just crash entirely on its users. Not to mention, the general ticket suddenly became unavailable only hours after being added as an option. The setback caused massive issues with fans who were left trying to figure out a new way to see Tay-Tay. The issue was eventually fixed, but the moment Taylor's fans broke the internet will go down in history. Number 1. Skipping Canada. It's no breaking news that the original plan for Taylor was to skip Canada entirely during her Eras tour, with many fans calling the move one of the biggest mistakes of her career. Hundreds of thousands of Canadian swifties looked to Twitter to express their frustrations. The comments, of course, came after she had already begun her tour, but seemed to make a major impact on Taylor. A couple of weeks ago, Taylor did a complete 180 and added several shows in cities across Canada. She decided to make the move after receiving messages from so many fans, not fueled with hate, but with sadness. Taylor made the announcement on Instagram Live, sharing that she will be adding, quote, adding quite a few stops in Canada, but will unfortunately not be visiting Vancouver. I guess she's worried that like Seth Rogen or someone might pop up in the crowd. You know that man is a Swiftie for sure. And those are the worst moments from Taylor's Era tour so far. What do you think she will do next? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you for checking out our content. Please drop a like if you had a good time, and keep coming back every day for more fun beyond the screen. We'll see you next time.